Welcome everyone. So as you can see, this is the project file we've been working for the last 6 weeks, and as you can see, it has 6 weeks folder. So I think we have also this one file that we used to outline what we've been learning. So we promised to learn this week web scraping, and then we will use Anaconda.
Excuse me,
Yes.
are you sharing some Json, or can everybody see?
Yes, I think I forgot to share the screen. Thank you so much for asking me just right away. Yeah, so just do you see now my screen, guys?
Yes.
Great. So as you can see, this is the folder for the project folder, what we've been doing for the last 6 weeks. And now the last week was the 6th week. And today we will work on the 7th week. And as usual, we create a new folder, right? So week 7. So everything we do will be in this folder. Great. But let's see what we are going to do today. I think we've covered this one, and now you're familiar with regular expressions, file handling. But this week or today, we will learn web scraping. And in addition, we will learn OOP, and they call it object oriented programming. Please. Oh no. Yes. Then we learn. I think before that, this nothing to learn. Just it's installing. But if we install it, will be easy to use. Jupyter notebook. Yeah. And then we will see the statistics module, and the statistics module give us some statistical analysis, but we prefer to use NumPy and Pandas, but we will also see that. I think this is what I have planned to cover, but before also that, we will also see like what is a Python dictionary, and sometimes you may call it an object, and a JSON, the difference between. Okay, you've been asking that, and also how to create a dictionary to a JSON and save it to as a JSON file. We will see that. If we cover this today, that means we've finished the course with a good shot, and the next week completely we work on only projects, no learning. Yeah, great. So let's make it happen. So I think it's better if we start from object-oriented programming. So maybe I think before I move on, so I think I can also open this. I open this because I want them to be like this. We will need them later. And I will use these 30 days of Python. So day 21, classes and objects, as you can see. Then you open and we go through this step by step. But I think before I will read this, let's just talk about object. What do you think an object? What's an object? What's an object? What's an object? Is a person an object? Is a table an object? Is a chair an object? Cat?
It can be, for example, a car, and if the object is a car, then it has some. Is it called attributes?
Mm-hmm.
And then it has sort of instances, so you can the car object can have several instances which have different values for the attributes.
Yes. So
And also methods, yes.
yes, great. Objects, when like if we just take the literal meaning of object, just some object, right? Some neutral object, an object which doesn't have maybe any gender, right? That is an object. It could be a stone, or it could be a table, or it could be anything. Most of the time, non-living, right, is an object. But when it comes to programming, actually everything is an object. A person could be an object, a car could be an object, a cat could be an object. So for that object, we can give different properties or attributes. Properties or attributes. And then we instantiate that class to create object, and it may also have methods. Let me just create a car object. Let's talk about just specifically a car. So let's imagine a car is an object. So a car could have, it can be described by its property. For instance, a color property. It could be red or black or white, who knows? And the model of the car, make, where is it made from? So these are properties actually, properties that describe the car. And this is straightforward, right? So we may call this attributes or properties to describe something, specifically for this case, the car. And it may have lots of, for instance, a gearbox. Gearbox. Is it a manual or it's an automatic? Lots of properties you can add. So anything you imagine. Again, let's imagine a method to manipulate this car, either to reverse it or to drive it or to whatever. For instance, the driving wheel. The driving wheel could be a method, because with that driving wheel, actually, we apply it and make that car move, right? Yes. So there could be, it may have different methods to do some action on that object, specifically for the car. Now, we've been talking, then let's convert this idea to a code. But before that, because we have a text here, I will read for you guys here. So Python is an object-oriented programming language, okay? So if someone say, oh no, are you learning Python? Yeah, it's a scripting language, right? Sometimes people say a scripting language is something doesn't have this object-oriented, but actually nowadays JavaScript has, Python has also. Python, I think, even at the very beginning has this class object. So it is an object-oriented programming language. Everything in Python is an object. What does that mean? We will come, with its properties and methods. So we've been talking about properties. Properties are actually attributes that describe the object. Methods are some methods that can be used to do some action on that object. For instance, a number, a string, list, dictionary, tuple, set, etc. All the different data types we saw, actually, they are also objects used in a program. Is an object for a corresponding built-in class. I believe this is hard to understand so far. We create class to create an object. This is awesome. Okay, I just deliberately wrote it like this. I don't like to use another fancy word because this makes it so clear. We create class, and then the class we create actually help us to create an object. Remember. So class is actually a kind of a blueprint to create an object. For instance, if you go to Kella, or if you go to somewhere some office, there is already prepared form. You can consider that paper, that prepared form, as in a class, because they don't like to create new a form when a client or a customer comes. Instead, they prepare it and give you the form, and you fill out the form. So when you fill the form, actually you are an object, like, so the filled form is actually an object. So that form is actually a skeleton. Everybody has some kind of a data, similar kind of data we fill to. So that's a kind of a class is like an object constructor or a blueprint for creating objects. Yeah, we instantiate the class to create an object. The class defines attributes and the behavior of the object, while the object, on the other hand, represents the class. Okay, anyway, I think it's better to just do the thing. So let's just write CMD. And if I just write py, the Python will be open. So if you write, for instance, num, and let's just write. So what is this data type, guys? Tell me. It's a number data
integer
type. If you see type num and it's
integer.
Yeah, it's an integer data type, as you can see. So, but it's a class actually, as you can see. Class int, it says. So it was a class actually. So that's why we say everything is a class. Does it have any method? Let's see, dir name. Yeah, as you can see, it has different attributes and methods. Because I used, do you remember this, the dir usually help us to know what attributes and methods that specific object has. Yeah, so as you can see, it has different methods and attributes. Okay, so third, for instance, like text, yeah, Python or something, yeah, in type, and if you text, it's a string, it's a class again, dir, and if you write txt, it has the different method. For instance, we've been using lower, we've been using upper, somewhere it will be upper, and the title, swap case, yeah, swap case, stripe to remove spaces, count to count some, for instance, Python, I mean txt, what is the text? txt dot count, how many? There's no any repetition in this word, right? Is there any repetition later, repeated later? No, unfortunately, no. For instance, if you want to count the number of O's, you can go and it should be 1, right? Yes. So you can see the different available methods and attributes. So actually, it's a class, and whenever we create this text, like whenever we create it, where I created, so this is actually an object. And now even you may not get what I'm talking about, but now is the time you will see what I'm talking about. Let's go here and click class object.py. Okay, how do we create a class? To create a class, you need class, the word class, and followed by class name. It's like the camel case, and then pass. You create actually already class. So this is how you create a class. To create a class. Let's run this. Nothing happened. Of course, nothing happened. Nothing, because even it doesn't have anything here. Print. I am a proud class. I'm just writing something. Does something happen? No. But for some reason, actually, I'm a proud class how this happened. I was not expecting, but for some reason I can see that, because as you can see, this is not private. It's just public. So even though we have a class, it's just public. So it's just, I have seen the result. But how about instead if I have just the name and if I write Asabena here, do I see any result? No. So to do that now, since since it has something, I don't have to write pass. Pass is sometimes, you write some syntax, and if you didn't finish the code, you can just write pass. So actually, this is your class. So that means you create your class, then let us create an object. See, or I can say, oh, because it's an object. And then you call the name of the class. What's the name of the class? Class name. And then you instantiate it with parentheses. How about if I print this? Print O, because it's my object. Oh, I think something has been printed out. Yeah. So the name of the class, but I think name of class. Name of class. Now let's run again. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, this has been printed out. Maybe just let's take out the name of this class from the object. You just write name. Now this is actually an attribute or a property, but that's also still public. It's publicly available. So yeah, now you just wrote the simple class, this class, and you did an object like this. Great. Is it clear so far? Before we add anything, I have to see from the chat. Just write 1 if it's so far, if it's clear. Okay. So, but the reason why I call this name of class name, because you can change this to a dog or a cat or person. And now I'm not a dog, so I think I can just change a new puppy, whatever. So now the name should be, as you can see, a new puppy. Okay, great. It may have number of legs, for instance. Legs, usually a dog has 4 legs. All the time, not usually, guys. Print. Oh, the legs. And then if I print 4, so this is the class, and this is the object. From this object, I am getting the attributes. To be honest, I don't like this object, and this object is just very, it doesn't, I mean, this class doesn't do much. But how about, like, let's change it to this person, and of course, it's better if I change it to P because it refers to a person. Oh, no, please. And I can change this to also person. Again, no. Yeah, again, let me just keep it empty as. Now, if I do this, yeah, the person object has no attribute name because there was no name here. Yeah, name, sub. Again, person object has no attribute. Okay, legs. I think I have 2. Okay. Yeah, good. But you don't declare most of the time your object like this. So we need actually a constructor function, and it starts with underscore, init underscore, and self. You need something like this. Pass. Oh, I have pass here already. And then if I do something like this, of course, this start crying because we don't have this name. So let's just put it like this. Again, as you can see, you see the object, the person object, which was created by this. So this is, we call it declaration of a class or creating a class, and this we call it instantiating. This is very hard word for me to pronounce. Yeah, so instantiating means actually, don't worry about this jargon word, creating an object from the class. No need to need this fancy word. So the process of creating an object from the class, they call it instantiating. Okay, so self, what is this self? And this self is actually a built-in constructor. It is just, this is not something I made, but it's a built-in function which allows you to add constructor to your class. For instance, if I say first name and the first name, and I have to write here also then self dot first name. I will I will explain this. What does this self means? Self refers to the class, actually, the class itself. So please attach the self value to this class. So now if you pass any parameter here, it will take that. Yeah, even have you seen it was rate? Yeah, if you hover it, no value for argument first name, because the constructor has first name. When you call or when you instantiate the class, it needs a parameter. So I pass. Now let's see. And then if you click here, first name, actually, you may get the value as sub. Oh, that's great. Can we do more? Last name, age, country, city. Yes, let's stop there. And then you just do the same thing. Last name. And again, you assign it to the last name itself. Country to the, oh no, self.country, and then country, you duplicate it. And then self city, and to the city itself. Now let's try to fold the value. And then age, did I use the age? Yes. 150, if you know, guys, if you are not familiar. But I think I forgot to. Self, age, and then to age. And Finland. And then Helsinki. It's good to fill also according to this order, you know. And then if I want to print p dot last name, I can get the value from the object. You can get all the value. Yeah, so this is how you pass different attributes and attach to the class itself. But how about if you create a class which we can, I mean a method, let's add a method, def get person info. Now we are creating, okay? So how do we get this? Print, return something. Okay, let's call this from print person dot get info, and then if you see what I think the indentation might not be good, so I have to read the comment actually. What does it say is get person info text one position, but ooh. Yes, I think text self. Yeah, have you seen this? All the methods usually take self. Yeah. Okay, great. Say something, but if you pass also additional another parameter, for instance, this is a method to get person info. Actually, it's you can just leave it as in a parameter, not the value. So parameter, for instance, and if I call it here, this is a way to get some data, or it is a method. It's a method. And then I can print that value, actually, the param. So let's see. This is a way to get some data, or it is a method. Have you seen? It's a method. Okay, but it's more than that. Now, instead, I just remove this. I don't need it. What's the person information? Do you remember this formatting? F. Who doesn't know formatting now? I can do, first I can concatenate my name and I can create a full name. Full name. Self dot first name. Actually, you can, after you create a constructor, you can access this value in this method by using self first name, because now the first name is part of the person class. So you can access it from any method. This is now the get person is, yeah. So let's try plus empty and then last self dot last name. As you can see, now it's the full name. Let's print the full name. We don't need anything. Yeah, Sabine Itai. So, yeah, I think I should slow down if you understand what I'm doing. How is it going, guys? Let's see. Is it syncing, guys? Can you write what I'm doing so far? Can you write one? And I know because I can't move, it's like, yeah, great. Okay, so what we did is actually we create a get person info method. Yeah. So now just get person info just gives just only full name. Let's make it full information because we have lots of information about this person. So we can say that this is the full name, and then actually we can print like this. Okay, do you remember this, the formatting? Full name. Sabina is his age. You can, the age. He lives in the city. I will fix that. The city and the country. Is there any other information? Now, this is enough. Oh, do you think this work? Who could help me? If you've been following me, you should help me here. because already VS Code is highlighting the error. What did I do here to create a full name? I get the data from the class or the constructor using self, and then just concatenating and create the full name, right? So this should also have self dot, self dot self dot self means actually this. In JavaScript and in Java, in C, the self is this. Maybe if some of the guys came from those programming language, self is this. What this? This class. Okay. Now if we run actually, Asaben Hitai is 250 years old and he lives in Helsinki, Finland. Oh, so we create a very good method. But how about another person? This is person one. Now from that object, we can also create another people. For instance, we can change this to Lydia, and maybe I think it's not a good idea to make someone older, no one knows, and change this to at least Espo. And then we can change this one because one. And then this is also one because I changed it already. The second person, I just copy this and two and two and two. So have you seen, so easy to create objects? Yeah. As you can see, the first person, it was me. And it's my first name, my last name as in attribute. But the method gives me this, get person info. And for the second person, also this. So it's easy after you create. Once you create this object, it's easy to create. Class, it's easy to create objects. You know, when you join my courses, you didn't have any skill, right? Did you have skills? No, let's say skills. You didn't have any skills. Then let's add it again here. Self.skills. We can just put empty. Even I think we don't have to have it here. We can just have it. So like this. So you don't have to instantiate, pass it as in a parameter, but imagine everybody has some skill, and at the very beginning, it was just empty. Okay, now let's add one additional method, def add skill self. So now return self.skills. This should be plural. I like just proper name. Very good naming, mnemonic, because this is the list. So it's going to be populated. So it's going to be more than one. So our variable name should be also plural, right? Great. Okay, now let's check the skills of Asabena. That means the first person. Print person one dot get. Oh, not get actually. Oh yeah, actually, we should. Okay, I can add get skill. Actually, this should be get skill. As you can see, I'm returning. So get person skill. Get skill is okay, but let's be explicit. Person skill and def add skill and self. Return for the time being just nothing. Why is it? Yeah. So I think, whoa, okay, nothing, none. I'm returning none for the time being, okay? It's crazy in Python. What is this? Have self.
It is self, not self.
Okay, self. Yeah, I should leave like this because it's possible to live without. So that means actually we're returning none. So now I'm interested in get person skill. Let's get the skill of person one. That's me. Print person one, get the skills. And instead of skill, I prefer to say skills because there's a high possibility of getting more skills. So let's run. And yeah, as you can see, is it right? Is it what you've been expecting? It's empty. Is that what you've been expecting? Why? Yes, because guys, we have just started with empty. Maybe you have now Python, don't you? And maybe let's just add web scraping. And maybe you will have just some pandas and whatsoever skills. And let's run. Now, as you can see, your lists are, your skill sets are there, but you know, it's a good idea to start from empty because this is actually a constructor which is going to be used for everybody, and everybody may not have the same skills. Some may have, some may not. Instead, we can use the add to add skill. Okay, so let us see how do we add skill here. So actually we can use, so first we have to have a separate skill parameter because this is just a function, okay? Then we call self dot skills dot append and then the skill. Okay, great. Now let's add some skill to person two dot add skill. Let's add for this person HTML. Yeah. And then now when I'm calling this, I should get some skill. Oh, no skill? That's surprising. Oh, I added two person two. So yeah, have you seen person one has a skill now? Great. Let's add more skill to person one. And then if we change this to CSS, CSS and the JavaScript. And if we run, we may see 3 skills. How about if we add some skill for person two? Person two. Person two, add skill. This is the kind of person maybe wants to be more of a Python stuff. So we can just add Python. So let's see. And maybe additional skill, Flask and Django. Flask and okay, so let's get print p2 get not person info, get person skills. As you can see, the second person has Python, Flask, Django. But me, the first person, I have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. This person is more of a backend developer, and this person sounds like more of a front-end developer. So have you seen how we managed to create class and instantiate to objects person1 and person2. Is it clear so far, guys? Before I move further, just type something and we'll have a break after 15 minutes.
Sabine, can I ask you one question?
Please, yes.
When you program yourself, do you use object-oriented programming?
That's a very good thing. Not really much. Not really much, because I don't get it. I don't get the importance. But it depends on, there's a case, actually it's a very good question. Why we need object-oriented programming? To avoid repetition. To modularize, like to make it more usable. But actually, functions are also very lightweight and easy to use. So most of the time, people use functions. The reason why I'm teaching you, it will be easy for you when you import modules, third-party libraries. It will be easy for you to read and understand what's happening, right? And even we've been using blindly string, for instance, some string dot upper, right? Now you know what this means. Yeah, this is a method from this object, like the way we did now. Yeah.
Yes.
It's not anymore. You don't do things blindly. You know what's happening. Yeah, that's why at the very beginning, the first day, I usually tell to my students, please don't worry about the minor details. Just follow me like a child or a robot. Just blindly do what I do. But now it's not anymore. It's not anymore. Now we go to detail and understand. So the reason why you need to know object-oriented, sometimes you need it, and it's also helps you to understand other people's code, third-party libraries, modules, and whatsoever, or packets. Yes. Okay, so maybe I think there might be good examples from 30 days of Python. So I have to check there. We'll go through here, creating an object. Really, this is awesome. So you should check this material. Creating an object. Yeah, it's like this. And then there's some explanation what I've been talking about. And then again, here, for instance, yeah, yes. Still this person is 250 after 2 years. Yeah, the same. Yeah, that's good. If you have too big number, it will remain the same. Okay, great. Object methods. So we saw object person info. In addition, we saw another, but this is the constructor, as I told you. Okay, object default methods. Even you can add default methods like this. But if you add default methods, you have to be sure that the order, okay? I mean, what does that mean, the order? Let me show you here. For instance, CT edu qualification. Wow, qualification is long word. Qualif, yes, BSc or MSc. Okay, so it's given already. So if you do something like this, it gives MSc for everybody. Self dot qualification and qualif. And I have to print. Where is here? Here in the is dash. What is it? So dot qualif degree holder. What's it? Anyway, so let's run. As you can see, the first person, he's a MSc degree holder, and this one is also, what is this? Yeah, MSc holder, both. But you can change, for instance, after you wrote that, maybe if I give for the second person, bachelor, BSc, then it will change, it doesn't matter. So as you can see, the first has a master degree, but the second has a BSc degree. Okay, where is the problem whenever you give a default? Let's see, for instance, the city, for instance, we can add also the city. Everybody is from Helsinki. Let's imagine. And so I don't have to give it here. If you don't give, it will be Helsinki. But if this person got already, it will be Espoo. That is. The problem is when you have the order, but let me just run this first. Yeah, so far it doesn't have any problem. Okay, when was the problem? It faced sometimes whenever you pass a default. Yeah, there might be there. So sometimes you may want to have a default values for your object method. If you give default values for the parameters in the constructor, we can avoid errors when we call or instantiate our class without parameters. Yes. Yeah, if you feel just to have some default value, just you fill it. But there are cases, so I mean, it like override, or it may not be okay. For instance, this is H20 Finland. It's okay also for this. Yeah, but you should notice that the order, sometimes when you put the value, there are cases which doesn't work. So you should need to notice. Maybe we may face when we go through. Okay, so object default methods. So default, actually, this is wrong. It has to be said that default values for methods, object default methods. Default values, it has to be corrected. Yeah, but it says here default values for parameters. Okay, great. Modify method to modify class default values. Yeah, as I told you, here we have a default value Helsinki and MSc, but for instance, for the second person, Espoo, so it will be Espoo, but the first person doesn't have qualification and qualification and the city, so the city will be Helsinki from the default, and the qualification will be MSc from the default. But for this one, we gave it, so the given value will be printed out. Great. Inheritance. Okay, so let's start. Yeah, but before I move on, maybe let's see. We added actually here a skill, but it's boring to add like one after another. I mean, it's not only boring, it's tedious. Yeah. How about if I have like maybe my skill sets, my skill sets were, oh, now I'm thinking in Python, JavaScript skill sets, if they were like this, HTML, and then CSS, and then SAS, and then JavaScript, React, Redux. It continues. Then what are you going to do? What are you going to do now? Because adding one after another is not good. Of course, as you can see now, you have At least you can use a loop. Why not? Yeah, you can use a loop. Let's do loop and populate the first person. Where was the first person? Here, right? Instead of one after another, we can say we have the skills there for skill in skills. Yeah, p1 dot get add skill and then the skill. Does it make sense, guys? What do you think? Do you agree with this expression? What the snippet code I wrote?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, so shall we check it? Let's check. Yeah, as you can see, we have this. And actually we can also modify this, for instance, this, and he has self dot skills, actually len, we can use the len, self dot skills. Now, if you print Asabene, he has 0 skills, but he has 3 skills. Really? Did we put this word to or what skill? So let's see. Did we? Oh, what's the wish? Get. Okay, let's run it once more. Why the skills are going to the I think I'm not adding what I see in the skills.
A skill in Oko.
It should be to all of them. Why it's 0 for okay, let me try print.
Maybe you have to write skills with double L.
Let's try the skills from here.
And
yeah, we got it here.
In the list, line 47.
Yeah, I will come to that. Yeah, I will come. Yes, 8. So far it's good. Line
47.
No, I think it's okay.
Skills with 1 L.
Oh,
And also
okay.
49.
Thanks. But that, I made the everywhere. That should be fine. And then self skills. From which line is it? Maybe I think I have to, yeah, this should be down. It should be, no, of course it's here actually. Let's see. Yeah, as you can see, I was, the line printed at the top, of course, doesn't have 8 skills, but now, as you can see, the second person has only 3 skills, but the first person has 8 skills. So now this class actually is growing. You can create a class once and you can instantiate or create objects from that. Now, actually, this object, this class doesn't differentiate a male. It's not gender. I mean, it doesn't know if it's a person, if it's a male or female. But actually, here, it differentiate. This person, as you can see, he still here. It's he. But at some point, I made it to differentiate. As you can see, it says he, and then here she. Yeah. We will learn that. Okay, before learning that, we talk about inheritance. I think it's good to have a break because an hour is already quite a lot. Then let's get back to the lesson after an hour, and we will, after 10 minutes, and we will talk about inheritance. Yeah? Okay, see you soon.
Oh.
Welcome back, everyone. So we continue from where we stop, and we've been talking about class, creating class, and creating methods. So you have a question, right? Where is it?
Yeah, but if you go down a little bit to the methods, so how do you know what you need to put as an argument to the method? I mean, in some methods
There.
you have only the class. No, I mean only the self.
Oh,
No,
here.
yes.
Yeah.
In the first method you have person info, then you have self. And
Yes.
in the next one you have self, but then you have self and skill.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
what is the difference?
Yes. Usually when students ask me a question, I ask them back. So, this is the constructor. You understood the concept here, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So as you can see, anything you have here also is attached like this to the class. Matching, it's a kind of matching, but there is nothing coming from the constructor, as you can see.
Ah, okay, I understand. Yes.
And that's not enough yet. So, and you have to add it here and then access using self skills. We're accessing it. After we access, we have to add something from it. So this is something we add now and then. For instance, hobbies. Yeah, let's do something similar. Self dot hobbies. And I'm going to do it like this, almost similar. If I'm doing a method, it's going to be the same. It's a duplicate. Get person's hobbies, and again add person hobby. So it's okay. Let's do it. So get def get person hobbies. Return self dot hobbies. I forgot to. And if I want to add, I think it's good to categorize the similar things there. Oh no, but here. And then again, def add hobby self, and I have to add a hobby, that. So we do the same. So self, first I have to get the hobbies and then append the list method, then the hobby I'm getting from the user. Does it make sense?
You have self again. You have self instead of self.
What's wrong with me? Yes.
And also on the next line.
Yep. Great. So yeah, that is what you now. The plan is instantiating and inheritance. Guys, have you get any inheritance from family, from parents, from? Did you? No.
Yes, I do.
Yes, at least the color of your hair, the color of your skin, lots of things you inherit just by default. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's something you do. You just inherit from your family. So let's do inheritance. Okay. So the way you create inheritance is actually so easy. And let's create a student class. So this is a class, and then you create another class. Actually, let's call this a student or child. How about just call it a child? And even we can change this one to a parent. Oh yeah, hey parent, nice name. And then we can change this to also parent. In programming, it's easy to make children, you know, it doesn't take that much. Yes, sometimes my students laugh when I say that. Parent, we have a parent, and then we can a child. Okay, this child you can make and pass everything what the parent has, like this, and this is enough. You just create it. So if you just, this is the children.
But should it not be parent?
Yeah, I forgot. We changed it, right? Yeah, parent. So that means the way we wrote, hey, I am a child, I need your properties and the methods you have. Oh yeah, we children are so greedy, and we take just what the parents have. Just understand that. A very easy way to understand. Did you get this now?
Yes.
Yeah, so let's create a child, see? And then child. And I call this T. And then anti Nurminen. Very nice name, Nurminen. I think I made a typo, most probably. Yes. 28, Finland. And what was the structure? So you have to see the structure of first name, last name, age, country, and city, and and even you don't have to write this one because it's the default, right? It takes yeah, I don't have to write even the city, so it's enough. So let's print out c.get person info. Do you think I can get any information from this? What do you think?
Does the pass somehow affect your code?
No.
No.
Because the pass is like, you can't leave it like this. To make it work, if you don't have anything to write, you just write pass. Let's see.
It should work. Try.
It should work. Yeah. So let's see. Antti Nurminen is 28. He lives in Helsinki, Finland. He is a MSc degree holder. He has 0 skills. Yep. Antti got everything from the parent without doing anything. Of course, he has to do some learning. He has 0 skills, but for some reason he got a MSc degree, because we have a default here. So it's not a very good idea to make default. Yeah, so I told you last time that so since this doesn't have, it's asking me to add, yeah, have you seen this? Qual non-default argument follows default argument. So let's add then because this needs now. Yes, we have to now, if you do something like this, guys, all the time, for instance, this should be at the end to make the default work. Unless otherwise it's not easy. This is the thing I was trying to explain to you. Now I faced the problem. Have you seen? Because but if we put this like this, now again for qualification, what is this? Qualification MSc, and but is the city again Yeah, now it's okay because the city is a default. Let's run. Qualification, I have to give qualification for all now. Here. Maybe just, yeah, bachelor, yes. I ignore this, the default parameter. It may confuse you a bit. So just ignore, it's not that much relevant. You have to.
But now there's Lydia is the expert degree holder without any degree.
Because
she
has. As a,
no, but in the text, if you look at the text,
the
first line, Lydia, he is the ESPO degree holder, so she needs to have a degree too.
ESPO.
He lives in he lives in BSc.
Okay, let me see. Lydia is he lives in, oh yeah. So that is something you should consider, the order. Lydia, and then her, and then okay, so but why?
I think because you changed the order, it changed because Lydia
Yes,
is
yeah, that's true. I changed the order. This order is really very important, guys. So ordering is very important. I have to fix that first. I think it's too big for me. Is it okay to see now? Is it? We have first name, last name, age, country. So
I think to inverse ESPO and BSc.
Yeah, this is the only thing I had to. Thank you. Because that's the only thing I changed, right? Let's go. Good. This, so since the city is still a default, even if I don't give her, she will be from, is that Helsinki the default? Yeah, it will be, but we don't want this one. Thank you. Yeah, now this should work. Great. Yeah, so now we made a children like by this, but what's the importance of this? The importance of this is actually whenever we want to override already available methods. For instance, I told you that it says he all the time. So actually, the best way to, we have to change this gender. If it's he, it should be he, and if it's she, it should say she. And let's do that. Okay. Now we have to do the constructor. The constructor, this is how we write, and self. So we have to write all over this one. So I think you guys, you don't want me to write this all over again. So I can copy and paste. Then pass. Right away, when you declare the constructor function, this stop working. Let's see. This stop working. As you can see, child object has no attribute first name, but yeah, it says because we didn't initialize it. We didn't do this, the attach first name something, but we don't do all over again here. Instead, we want to just use the super, and then I think I may, so how do super, yeah, from super means actually is the parent dot get the the constructor. So this is how we attach with the parent. Okay. So super, and then dot init, and then all over again, we pass this value, this. Yeah. So now it should work again. Have you seen it start working again? Okay, we don't need also this line because now it has some code. But the thing is, we want this to take a gender. Okay, gender. If we add gender, so we can also attach it to this class self dot gender. I call it gender. Okay, then I think the get person info def get person info, I have to rewrite it. If you rewrite this, that means you are overriding the parent. Okay, I can copy the code and this code, but I will modify it a bit. Okay, copy. Then, where is it? I paste it here. But this doesn't identify if someone is a male or female. As you can see, it's all the time he. So we want to get the gender somehow. Do you know this if condition, guys? If condition, if self dot gender is equal to male, we can say, okay, I have to put gender, let, oh no, maybe value for the time being. I can do something like that. If self gender is male, value will be he, all right? Else, value will be she. Do you agree with this code? And then we don't, instead of static value, we replace this one with the value. Even you can call it gender because the self gender is coming from there. So you just, but don't complicate such kind of naming. You should really be careful when you just give names. Okay, good. What do you think, guys?
You need to replace the he on the next line as well. Two of them.
Why?
Because it should be she, shouldn't it?
Oh,
sorry, no, you're right. Or no, I mean in the text itself.
Oh yeah, all the time. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, this should be different. Okay. That is.
One more.
Is there another place also?
Yes, same line.
Yeah, it's almost everywhere. Okay, great. Value. Yeah, but I think there's another simple way of writing if condition. We call it ternary operator. And actually, I wrote it here. If you see if self-gender male, put it he, else she. Have you seen this state expression? Okay. If it is true, this part, take this value. Else, take this value. Then finally, we store in this gender variable either he or she. So I'm in favor of this code, a code I wrote sometime later. And then I replace this with that beautiful line of code, short code. Yeah. So one-liner. So, and again, I will change this value with that gender. I think now we managed to. So let's give gender for this new person. Actually, the gender should go maybe I think the position now, again, we may have a problem, but I have to fix it. So yeah, but I don't have to, because this method is only for the child. So why have you seen there's some error here? Let's read it. No value for argument gender. So I have to put it somewhere. So let's imagine this guy is a male. Of course, he's a male. And city, let's imagine he's from. So let's print. And let's add another child also, because from this one child, we don't know the result. We have to also add, yeah. Let's say they are Johanna. So they are brothers. 24. Let's leave this female. And I have to get data from C2. And now we should get with a different gender. Oh, I forgot to edit that. Okay, Auntie, for some reason the gender is
you've written it with a capital letter, so it should be Antti Nurminen and then not capital letter male.
Oh yeah, here, yes. I think the best way of doing this, because sometimes something like this may happen. So the best way, what we can do, let's do this one to lower, okay? Is very good. Yeah, this can fix that problem. What?
There's an extra W in the lower.
Okay, Auntie is he and Johanna is she. Oh yeah, great. She's she everywhere and he is he everywhere. Great. Yeah, I think a bit now small, so it might be hard for you to see. Oh, how is it, guys? We just override the parent method, and for instance, the parent may have some hobbies and the children might have some fancy hobbies. So you can add additional methods for the children, but you reuse the parent code. That's why in here we call it inheritance. So don't make it like a big deal. Some people make it really like, oh no, object-oriented programming something. No, it's okay. So once you create a parent, and then from that parent, you can instantiate, you can create a children using inheritance. I don't have much code over here, but try to solve some of the questions. For instance, here actually I gave some data, and from this data, I want you to create a class method called statistics, I think, yeah, statistics, and yes, statistics, and from that you can data.count, data.sum, something. From statistics, you instantiate data object. From that object, you can extract these methods, okay? So that means you develop a small library which can do statistics. Great, yeah. So it's a very good challenge for you, and the solution is here. So you don't have to create a class called person account. It has first name, last name, incomes, expense, properties. These are properties, and it has total income, total expense, account info, add income, add expense, and account balance methods. Incomes is a set of incomes. So that means this is going to be just like a skills. So inside the skills, there will be set of incomes, and it has some description. So just spend some time to understand this text, the problem, and work on it about object-oriented programming. I'm not sure if we continue without break, or what do you think, guys? I'm done with object-oriented programming. Are you okay with it? Just type something. How was OP? Can you type one for me? Just I know that, yeah, okay. Are you just do you write just one all the time? You don't care if it is, okay, I can see question, Rene. Okay, so what was the problem? Let me know, guys. I can help now. What you didn't understand from this?
No, somehow I feel that this is not really for, let's say, for a beginner, or when you start programming. I don't know if this is so relevant. I mean, it's relevant in the sense that you have to read code, other people's code, and then, of course, you should be able to read that. So in that sense, it's okay. And I mean, I get a sort of overview of it, but I don't know if I could write a simple class, but well, that's all.
Yeah, I think someone also asked me the same question. Is that you who asked me
Yes.
if I'm writing functional programming or this? Yeah, you asked me, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I asked the question. Most of the time I write functional programming because they are really so handy for me to use, and I don't have any problem. And it's very trendy. Lots of people also use functional programming. But in one way or the other, you come across to this object-oriented programming. And also I tried to explain that methods, what does that when you say a dot upper or lower, all this by now it should, today's lesson should make clear, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yes.
Yeah, so that is, and you will have a very big picture of object-oriented programming, and also it's good enough. By now, I don't consider you guys anymore a beginner. For me, you are upper intermediate already. For me, if you have been attentively following my lesson for the last 6-7 weeks, you are not anymore a beginner.
Correct.
So that's my understanding. So I'm not going to like consider you for because now everybody's in the level to attend data science course, data analysis, and whatever you want to be. And the main purpose of this training is actually to make you feel good about programming and to make you ready for other challenge. Yep. So, but you don't have to understand everything what I teach. If you understand the big picture, you don't use it more often. So just feel free. Okay. Great. So now I think before the break, let's do something. So, but first, it's good to see what we saw. Yes, we saw this the object oriented. So let's destroy it. Yeah. And now, before that, I would like to go to this one, Pipe Dictionary and Json. So do you know the difference between, guys, a dictionary? What's a dictionary, guys? Do you know dictionary now? Oh.
Yeah, of course, you know.
Of course. How many data types do you know, guys? Number, yeah, number, string, something Boolean, right? Number, string, Boolean, yeah. And then list, set, tuple, and dictionary. These are really fundamental data types, okay? If I ask, if you come for a Python interview and if I ask you the data types and if you don't answer all this, oh no, definitely I don't accept you. I don't take you for Python role, okay? So that means you are not yet ready. So you have to spend some time to learn. And remember also, whenever you return from some function, usually you return some data type. yeah, or you return none. That means you write def some function and you do something. This is write a function and you return something. Of course, it needs an indentation. Yeah, because now I'm not writing on .py. So usually we return some data type from a function. So it could be number, string, boolean, list, set, tuple, or dictionary, or some data types. If not data types, it's most probably none. Okay, so today we will talk about the difference between dictionary and JSON. Okay. JSON, first dict.py. Because some dict json.py. Okay. But I think instead of I write all the time, I have some examples available already. So I prefer to make use of. Last time we should have covered it all here. Deleting files, and then there's different kind of files. So one of the different files we talk about txt file, and then another file is actually JSON file. So this is the dictionary. Okay, I will just take this here. Are you familiar with this, guys?
Yes.
Okay. How many properties or keys does this dictionary have?
4.
4. Great. Yeah. So what's the data type of the skills key? I mean the skills value.
List.
List. Great. Now you know. So you know how to create. So let's print and see type of person dict. The reason why I write some kind, since this material is for a learning material, I usually declare it like this, so students understand by just looking at this that this is actually a dictionary. So but in your case, store it without dict or something, just person. Okay, I was expecting something. Let me, yeah, this is dict, have you seen? A dictionary. Yeah, then how do we change this to actually person JSON? Person JSON. What's the difference between JSON and one of the difference? Actually, you can make this. How can I change this to? Now, let me show you, for instance, nationality, and Ethiopian. Okay, so I can run. Yeah, I didn't finish the last code. I can comment it out for the time being. Have you seen now? I used this single quote. But guys, whenever you write code, be consistent. If you start with single quote, just go for single quote all the way. And nowadays, it's more trendy and good to use single quote instead of double quote. And you can just even configure your this VS Code, and with your VS Code, just clean all those double quotes to single quote. It changes for you. But now the point is, we can't use a single quote if it is what is this JSON. So JSON usually uses double quote, but in what is this, in a dictionary we can both use a double quote or single quote, one of the difference. And another, it is actually in a form it is somehow in a form of a string. Why is it like that? Unexpected indentation. Oh yeah, because I don't need this. Yeah, so it's a kind of a form of a string, but we don't change it like this. So there is this method to convert from a dictionary to a JSON. As you can see, we have as you can see, we have here the dictionary, and this is the string form of the dictionary. But most of the time we use methods to change one to another. I think this is the method we use, this dumps. So first we have to import. We can import JSON, and then instead of doing just changing like a string, we have to use the available method itself. Then person JSON JSON.dumps, and then we pass the dictionary, person dictionary, and if I just print, I will get it, print person JSON. Yeah, it is here, as you can see. So this is just, actually it doesn't have any difference in format, but as you can see, everything is in one line. So actually this takes another parameter, indent, and let's give it 4 indentation to have I mean a prettified or beautified what indent is an invalid keyword, I thought. Oh yeah, I forgot. It should be in the dumps indent, and if you put 4, you see some formatted JSON like this. Yeah, it's good for this one. It is for, where was this is short, it's okay, we can read it, but if it's really long, like the country's data, we need to beautify or indent it like this to read. Yeah, so now we know how to change from dictionary to the JSON using the JSON dumps method. You don't have to think about this. You have to import the JSON and use the dumps a method. You pass the dictionary, you add indentation, done. Okay, but let's check the data type of person.json. I think it most probably a string, because yeah, have you seen? Because a JSON is a string data type. There is no JSON data type. Yeah, it's a string data type, so it changes it to a string. Is it clear so far, guys?
I think it's strange because it looks like a dictionary.
Yeah, of course it is. They're the same. You have asked me at some point also. There is no much difference between dictionary.
Yeah, but I mean it's a different. It's strange that it's a string, although it looks like a dictionary.
Yes. Do you know why? Okay, let me tell you the definition of JSON. Do you know what the definition of JSON? Yes, the definition. Let me write JSON, JavaScript object notation. Okay, where it comes from? Actually, JSON is actually it comes from JavaScript, and why? It looks like a JavaScript object, but it's in a string form. Why it needs to? Because HTTP protocol, now we are talking about different things. HTTP protocol. Do you know, guys, HTTP protocol means the way we communicate the client. Now, for instance, I'm accessing this website, 30 days of Python as a client from some server. I am a client and the server from somewhere is providing me this data. So there is HTTP protocol communication between me and the server. So I'm a client and there is a server which is providing me this data. If I'm clicking this, I get a new data. We call this a request. I send a request and the server gave me this file. Again, I'm doing another click. Actually, I'm getting another data again from the server. There is a response, a request, and a response cycle. You don't have to understand this much. So on the server, data should be in a form of a string. So in a JSON format, because it's lightweight to transport. That's why it is string. Okay, I did go far to explain that. Anyway, I hope it gives some insight. Yeah, so the reason why it's a string is actually, since as some, for instance, do you remember the countries data, the countries API? Yeah, we have been opening this a couple of times. Yeah. And if you open this, I think I can open it like this. Yes. Actually, the first time when you see it, it was just raw text, right? I think if I, where is view this? How can I, no. That's not what I want. So without, yeah, format. Yeah, but it's taking me there. I was, okay, let me disable this then. I can disable it for some time. On, okay. Yeah, have you seen now? Yeah, but my extension is changing it. Anyway, you saw the unformatted version of this, the text, the string. Have you seen the string?
Yes.
Yes. So it comes to me as a client as a string, but I'm using some extension to make it look good, to make good for my eyes. But actually, for the HTTP communication, usually it's a JSON, and JSON is actually a string formatted in some pattern, like it looks like a dictionary or a JavaScript object, but it's in a string form. Actually, instead of even dump, you can also change it like this, yeah? Just change it to a string. It's just now a JSON already. But if you do it like this, you will not have a chance to add this indentation and other features. So it's better to use the default method. Okay, can we change it to also back to object? Yes, it is. It's possible to change it to object. I think where was I? File handling, right? So I'm still in the same place. So I will take you to changing a dictionary to JSON we saw with the dumps. Saving JSON file. How about if we want to file? Let's use this actually, the file handling method to save this code. Now, files, I don't like to go to anywhere. I can just put here JSON example.json. And these are actually to read also other non-English alphabets or characters. And now what we want to save is actually the person JSON. F, so do you remember? With open, that means we are creating this file and we're about to write, and it will be able to read any kind of characters. This is actually an optional. We can remove the indentation we want. Even I can remove the indentation. And first, let's look at what it seems. Let's run this. Yep, a file has been created, but have you seen it's not good? It's not good. Okay, because there is no this indentation, the formatting. So I will delete it and try again. Okay, where was it? Yeah, indentation. Let's try it with an indentation. Let's try. Oh, even it's not yet good. Maybe because of what? I was expecting better results. Then maybe we need the okay, wait. So first, let me remove this one. Of course, that is actually, we can override it. I was not expecting this. I was expecting better result. Let's see something we can improve. There's also a code I write a little some time ago. Let's check. For instance, yeah, with just this, I managed to generate this. I think you saw it on Telegram already, what this means, and we are about to talk about it. Why then I got something. Anyway, these are the spaces. These are the new lines. Okay. But why didn't? Maybe it's not formatting my, I can Json. Yeah, maybe. Not that. Please don't do that. Json. So helping me, this JSON viewer. But this, as you can see, these are the new spaces, but it's not formatted. I need some viewer because I have been reinstalling some of the extensions might not be there, and this is not helping me either. Oh no. Let's try to open that on Jupyter Notebook, how it looks like. Okay, maybe if that's better. For instance, okay, is it already opened somewhere? Yeah, I have here some. Then I have to go to the desktop, and I have to go to this, and I have to try to open this. Oh, it has a problem actually. Okay. Okay. Why we have that problem? Let's see. Dict. Yeah, yes. I want to see what code I have used here. Yeah, are you debugging with me, or you are just enjoying your time when I'm trying to debug this code? Okay, open and dump. I use Json dump, yeah. And actually, okay, the dictionary. Okay, so I think it should be just the dict. Let's see. Then let's see what we get. I will explain to you if we get some hope. Oh, have you seen? We got some hope. This looks better right now. Is it what I was expecting, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, but did you understand how I fix it? No. It should be no, I know. Okay, let me tell you the reason why. This dump, yeah, I have to explain here the difference between dumps. Do you remember when we used dumps somewhere? Yeah, we use dumps. Dumps allows you to change dictionary to JSON. But whenever you want to change the dictionary to a JSON, and at the same time you want to write it on a file, it should be dump, and the data type should be dictionary. But I was trying to change 2 times. That's why I was using the JSON, so it should be dictionary. Yeah, that's the reason. So now we wrote a very good JSON. I love to look at this. Yes, yeah, it's easy to read. Great. And then you can also populate. So this is how you change it. Now even we managed to save it in a new file. So sometimes as a freelancer or something, it's common to change some of the files to JSON, CSV, TSV, or XML, and so what are other formats. I think that's enough. Now you have a very yeah, so file with CSV extension, and we will come to that later whenever we need, instead of spending too much time there. So if we talk about that, then how about if we talk about, after the break, web scraping? Yeah, but I want to give you some motivation before you leave for break. You know, the internet is full of data. You can get any kind of data you want. And maybe you want to develop a website, and that website compare the price of different products from different e-commerce sites. So your application take data from different e-commerce sites and bring, compare, and visualize. It's nice, right? So you don't have to go to like eBay, Amazon, and whatsoever to check, because your website's actually doing the dirty job. And what you just do is look at the table or some figures and visualization. You can do by scraping data. Okay, if you remember, who opened this website? Did you manage to open this website? Did you get time to open this website, guys? No?
Okay.
Yeah, I just lately shared this website on Telegram just to look at it. The purpose was just to look at it. Because why I chose this website, it doesn't have much information. We see some table here, and it's about community. We don't care, but what we are interested in is just this key and this value, this key and this value, and this category, something like that. So simplistic and structured, and that's why I chose. And then for you, for demo purpose, I changed this data to a JSON form, and what I got is actually this, a very clean data. Have you seen? Category, community, student body, living alumni, total employees, faculty, non-degree students, graduate and professional students, undergraduate students. The key repeats itself, but the value changes. Yeah, I think I made something wrong, because all the categories are community, but it should be different. So my coding has something wrong. I have to fix it during the break then. Yeah. So this is the motivation, guys. Then after the break, we will learn scraping websites. That means getting data from website and storing it on your local machine, or storing it on a database, and also visualizing it in another website. Great. See you after 10 minutes. Yeah. Good. Welcome back, everybody. So now we will talk about web scraping. As I told you, web scraping is actually a process of scrape data from websites and storing on your local machine computer, that means, or maybe storing it to a database. This is enough definition, okay? So what does that mean? For instance, I have this website, the website I showed you. I want to scrape this data and want to store somewhere, right? Okay, you may say, why I write a code? Instead, I can select, copy, and store it. You may think that way. I think some of you might think that way. Just do this, the select and copy and clean it manually. So you can do that way, but I think there's lots of advantage by doing by writing scraping a script, and that scraping script will help you to collect the data. Manual work, you should do it manually every time. Okay, you should do it manually every time. And imagine you may have 1,000 or hundreds or many hundreds of pages. Can you do it manually? No, it's very difficult. And maybe if the website is updating the data every day, every hour, yeah. So are you going to do it all over again? It's so hard. But if it's a code, your code will scrape the website maybe in every 30 minutes. Yeah. Maybe another example. If I take you this worldometer. So for instance, these guys they got they get data, very recent data every time. So if I want to scrape this data, I can scrape their website and visualize it somewhere. And I may update my website every 30 minutes. So that means my script come to this website and scrape this website every an hour or every 30 minutes. And then I may have the same data as they have. Okay, so something like that. So you may use for different purpose. It has lots of advantage. So do you understand the purpose of web scraping, and do you understand what it means, guys?
Yeah.
Great. So to scrape, we need to understand HTML and CSS. How many of you know HTML and CSS? Please, if you know HTML and CSS, please say something. Can you say something if you know HTML and CSS? Do you know HTML and CSS? No. No. Some people are saying nope. Okay. Little bit of it. Yeah. What you need is a little bit of HTML. You don't have to know much. Just a little bit. Oh, we learn. So let's learn, okay? Okay, if you don't know, we learn. So whenever it comes to HTML, you have to have one file, index.html, and we call it like this. And most of the time at the top, we write HTML. What? HTML. And we close it. Why it doesn't close it by itself? I thought it's HTML. Yes. So as you can see, the extension should be HTML. Inside, you need a head. And the head again should be. And then again, you need inside here title. And inside the title, there should be, I think I didn't have this, the pre-tier, because the pre-tier should make my pre-tier. Yeah, I don't have pre-tier because I've been installing. I have, yeah, so I think after this pre-tier will take care of that. No? Okay, anyway, so title, web scraping, I call it web scraping. You can call it any name here, title. Yeah, now as you can see, since I have the pre-tier, it's aligning itself. And we need the body. Then this is what you need for a website. So as you can see, HTML code usually it has opening tag and the closing tag. And we have the head. Inside the head, I put this, and then in the body, you can put anything you want. And this is the website. This is a simple website. So let's run this and see how it looks like. So to run this, actually, what we should do, I have already, maybe if you are following me, just install live server, this one, the first one, and install it. Now it's installed. Then I go to the file and click on here, and yeah, I think it's taking some time for the live server to load. No, I don't see the live server even. I thought live server. It seems. Okay. Because it's not active. Why not? No, for some reason it's not active, but anyway, I can open it manually. It's not a big deal. So I go to this Python here, and then I go to this and right click, and I open it using. Yeah, it opened in other. Yeah, this is how it looks like. So if I write, for instance, H1, that means title, like first title. This is a header or heading one. H1. So I have to refresh. Yeah, for some of the guys, you've been, yeah, this is how you write. But I think this lesson might be difficult for you if you don't know HTML and CSS, because I just included it. What do you think, guys? Shall we do it, or what do you think? Can you? Okay, so yeah, because this is like, if you want to add P means, for instance, guys, for some reason today my HTML is not working properly. I'm in my VS Code for HTML lorem. Let me try lorem. Yeah, even it's, why? Even it's not, because I think it's because of, I have no idea, to be honest. Okay, this is a paragraph. Okay, So that's how you write a paragraph. Maybe if you want to write a list, this is how you write a list. I can write list of HTML, maybe a list of Python, and a list of web scraping. I'm just do some list here, and now we will have a list. So it's not a big deal, as you can see. HTML looks like this. So if we go here, and what is that? This website, I right click and inspect, and actually, yeah, it's written with HTML, the code. As you can see, it has HTML at the top. And then if you want to see the title, this is the title. And the title means what you see at the top. Yeah. Yeah. Here, for instance, if you want to see a quick facts, where is it? Actually, you don't have to look for it. You just make this active, and click this. Yeah, then it's here. It's H1. So the end, it has class. Class is a way to style. So maybe I try to avoid using class. I use different just by name. Yeah, so we target them and collect. So we extract it. So as you can see, this has some structure. Inside community, there is this value, and the campus, academics, and some grant in the word, and some kind of structure. So this data is actually easy to change it to object or a dictionary and a Json. Yeah, have you seen the structure? It has some kind of similar pattern. Yeah, okay, great. So I thought most of you now have this, so I want to close this, the Anaconda, but if you don't have Anaconda, so since it's supposed to, yeah, if I get lost, I use this sometimes when you do web scraping. You should remember a lot of things or refer. So if we get lost, I will come to this and check. But now let's close it. And this is the official website of Beautiful Soup. Okay, a Beautiful Soup. Have you ever heard of the word Beautiful Soup?
Yes.
Oh, what does that mean?
I only know it has something to do with web scraping.
Yes, yeah. And actually, Beautiful Soup is, I think it's motivated by the children's story, Beautiful Soup. Yeah. So I think the story goes like this. There was a person who just go to some village, and in that village there was like a kind of what is this drought or whatsoever, and the people were starving, and he asked the people that and he noticed that they didn't have anything to eat, and he asked them to bring something from, and he just put on a big pot, and everybody was bringing what they have, potatoes and whatever, but he was telling them that I'm just cooking the stone. So they had actually a stone at the very beginning, but they add different things on top of that, and finally they ate a very beautiful soup. The moral of the story is actually unity. If someone contributes what they have, they can live happily and joyfully, something like that. So whatever. But this beautiful soup, what we use is for scraping the data. Okay, let's go for. So this is Anaconda. So first you should install Anaconda. Anaconda is very popular in the data science machine learning community. So you go and select your device and install. most probably you go for this, yeah, this one, if you have a Windows, and for Mac and for Linux. And I hope you did that. I don't have to do because I have it already. So I go here and open Anaconda by writing Anaconda, and I open it. And it takes some time. Who has Anaconda? Let me know first, guys. Okay, everybody has. Yeah, then I think you have a super, I mean, you have a very good thing. Okay, it's really good one. Oh yeah, it opened in another screen, so I have to bring it here. When you open it, it has something like this. Just you don't have, if you run this one, actually this PyCharm, another text editor to write code, even basic code is included. And the Jupyter Lab is somehow similar to Notebook. It has lots of this one also, but even it have RStudio. But today I prefer to use Jupyter Notebook. It's so elegant. Click it here and give it some time. Oh, it's really opening it in another. Oh, but I broke it. So the Jupyter book has been opened, and this is what you see. Actually, what I see is my computer. So desktop, for instance, I most of the time work on the desktop. So I click on the desktop. Yeah, if I want to go to one of the folder, I can go to one of the folder. For instance, which one is our folder? Who knows it? Tell me, guys, which one is our folder?
Python winter.
Yes, great. This is now, as you can see, you see all the folders. Even still, I can go to the folders. Yeah, now we can create something here. Let's create this. If you want to create if you work on a Python, you should click on this text file folder. Yeah. So Python, it opens like this, and give it a name. It's good to give it a name. For instance, Jupyter Notebook practice, something like that, or test practice 1. We have never used this, right? So you don't give any extension, just name. Okay, yeah, it's clean, right? It's just ready. It looks so clean for us, waiting to write. So let's learn Python all over again on Jupyter Notebook. So these are the cells, and you run each individual cells separately. So print hello world, and just to run, shift enter. Great. Print Jupyter Notebook is really awesome. Yes, it is. And then again, shift enter. How about if you want to back? So you can use this, like, yeah, and even it's creating. But if you don't like this extra space, you can destroy it. And then if you want to go down, and then if you click this, it creates a cell for you. No, it's not clicked. Then if it doesn't, yeah, it's not clicked. So you can press this cell. Okay, print again. We really love Python. And then Control Shift Enter. And then again, let me print something. Now I want to go to, I want to create a cell between this and this. Actually, just click B. Is that B or A? Yeah, B is actually to the bottom, then it's A. So first you have to remove, yeah, make it active. You select it. And then when you click outside, it will be active. Then append actually will append at the top. Yeah, have you seen? And then to see some of the shortcuts, you come here and see shortcuts. You will see the different shortcuts. For instance, I used just A, insert cell from the up, from top, insert cell below. Yeah. So there are lots of shortcuts. If you want, you can check them. You get them here, and then shortcuts. Where are they? They are here. Okay. Now I'm here. I want to add at the top. First, I have to click outside, active. And now, for instance, if I write hash, where this is, okay, maybe I can type Python notebook tutorial. And then as you can see, I added hash. It is not a comment now. And if you change this to a markdown language, it will be like this. So actually this allows you also to write documentation. Yeah, I can add now some text. It is good to put some text when you work on Jupyter notebook because it makes it more readable, usable, whatever. Yeah, so you can write text. Even it allows you to write a different, do you know Latex, guys? Do you know Latex?
No.
Yeah, Latex is the most of the time whenever you write thesis, you need some complicated formulas. So you can add, you can use Latex. I think Latex for Markdown. I have been there. I don't remember Latex formula, so guys, I should. Now let's just open one of the. For instance, have you seen this formula? This kind of formula is hard to write, so it might be. Let me try this, for instance. Yeah, it didn't read it. Maybe I think it's not the right one. I have to how to use Latex in Markdown. That's much better. Yeah, for instance, we'd write this. Let's try. Yeah, have you seen? So even you can incorporate or you can use it with Latex. But there's a specific Latex which can work for this Jupyter notebook. Yeah. Yes, I can leave this for time being. A square is equal to, yeah, this doesn't sound a very proper one. I can say C square is equal to A square plus B square, like this, like the half Pythagoras something. Okay, good. What else can I add? So this is how you use. After this, we like more of, I think it's better to you make use of the itself. Yeah, so it's easy, right? Do you like it?
Yes.
Okay, then let's import. Most of the time we import our modules at the top, but it doesn't matter. So this was a practice. Now let's create another file, and I call it web scraping, because this was a practice. Now we're about doing web scraping. Great. Let's import necessary modules. For instance, we need the URL open Python package. Yeah, so someone already, or it's from this. Yeah, as you can see, we can take, I will show you. So as this is the package we need, URL lib. So we can use this to open a socket actually. So this send a request and open a socket. That means it accesses the data from a website. So where was the website we've been working on? Is it? Yeah, this one. So we click here. I have to copy that, right? So I think it's also better to merge it in the same, because it's opened in. Anyway, I can just put it URL, and the URL will be here, and we can also open it at the same time here and make it available. So to open, I think I have to get some code from what is, okay, maybe, where is it? Yeah, URL open. So what we use is actually URL open. Then URL, and I think if I put this as, but why I just select this, and we can import another URL open, and then you pass. Yeah, have you seen this? That means actually we got it. So let's just put this as in response. Print the response. Yeah, the response. So that means something happened. And if we check the status 200 means actually it's okay status. So we managed to fetch this data. Maybe we can get also more code, but after this, we don't need to follow this because we need to import Beautiful Soup. So let's go to Beautiful Soup website, Beautiful Soup. Now, what I'm actually trying to show you is also you have to learn how to read documentation. You don't have to memorize everything. So Beautiful Soup, this is the official documentation of Beautiful Soup. So they have information how to use. So first we have to install this. BS4 is just, this is how you install on %pip install. I will wait for you. Then enter. Yeah, so now it's installed. I don't need it. Then let's bring this line because we want to make use of the beautiful soup. But it's better to import all your imports at one place. And I don't need this part. I can, yeah. So now this make this to open, or even you can use actually import. And what was this requests? Do you remember the requests? We read one requests. Instead of this, you can also use the requests package. Actually, response, and you can read requests. I think instead. Yeah, but in this case, status code, it's a bit different. So yeah, either you can use this or this. I think I like requests. Okay, now from a request, we can just get the content. How do we get the content? Response dot text. Have you seen the text? Yeah. Or content, actually. There's also have this content. Yeah, you get the same thing. Yeah, great. So I can just store this content. Then print. Have you seen, guys? That means we are accessing this website now as text. So you guys are a Python ninja, and now you are chopping it. Yes, we will chop. We don't need this line. Who understood what we plan to do? Do you guys understand what we're trying to do? Yeah, I'm strange. Sometimes I ask such kind of question.
Yes, yeah. But the result is not very impressive.
Is not this one?
Yeah, the text.
Of course, you have to clean. There's lots of process. Yeah, this is just the first step. Now we at least we saw some hope. We saw some hope, right? So we have to. The thing is actually beautiful soup make this very beautiful. So we don't even like to see it without. Then let's call the soup. How do we call it? How do we make soup? It's so easy. Okay, this is how you call the soup. Beautiful. You instantiate. So as you can see, even it is so this is actually a class. So it takes some parameter. The parameter actually is the content. And we don't have to print this value also now and then. We just, now let's print the soup. Even still it's dirty because we have to pass some parameter. As you can see, there is HTML parser. We want to parse the HTML. Okay, so we have to pass that HTML parser. It's lots of information here. So you just put it here. Is there any difference? Even there's no any difference. It's really hard. Yeah, it's somehow better, but I think there's this method pretty. So do you remember, guys, whenever you do not know how to use the methods, yeah, try to just use the dir and try to find what it has. Actually, nowadays it has even like find all, something like that. So find all, and find all, we will use it much often. So yeah, so the different methods. For instance, I want to prettify. Yeah, because it's not pretty, right? Let's use prettify. No, this text is really too much. So prettify. Have you seen? It's pretty a bit now. At least I can see that a banner at the header or something. Yeah, so great. So it's easy to read, much better. Yeah. Have you noticed, guys? School of College, program study. Yes. Now, even I can show you where is the title. Sorry, it's the information is quite a lot, so I have to. Have you seen the title here? We can actually extract the title here. How? If you say soup, just title. Why not? Soup title. Yeah, we got it. Now, how about if we say head? Just we can get the part that in the head, but the head does have lots of information, so it's too much. So just let's focus on the title. Yeah, title and then text. Yep, we managed to extract it. So is that the same title? Yes, guys. Great. So how about if we extract, for instance, some of the text somewhere? This one or this one. So what you should do first, you should do this, and then you don't know where this exactly is. So you have to hover it, click on here, and then you do this. Then you come here and check, actually, it's somewhere inside a div, text area, and then inside another div, and then, yes, let's get this one. Yes, our plan is actually to get this. Okay, I'll show you. So we call this maybe some text. Okay. Some text somewhere. Soup, from the soup, find. Okay. Yeah, we have different methods like find all. Find usually finds just only one item. So there is this class text area. So a div, we can call it, I think I'm opening different things. It's a div, but it has a class actually. And this is how we call it, class. And this equal to text area. But if there are another text area with a class, we may select them by that. And let's see what we get. Oh, so let's see. What is a quick? Yeah, so great. At least it seems we're there. A quick by, do you think, are we there? Yeah, it says a quick by the numbers overview of hosted, but still we have to work on. After this, I have to find the P because it's in a P tag. Okay. Yes. And then from here, I can get the text. Oh yeah, great. How is it going, guys? Yeah, is it going well? Okay, great. So now you got the idea. This defined get only one value, but if it's find all, it brings many information. Now our plan is actually, we are more interested in the structured data. This one, these guys are like a dictionary. Yes, so let's target these guys. Where are they actually located? Let's just click again and hover around here. Yes, actually it says facts category. It's, yeah. So what is this value? Yeah, this is at the top. I don't need that part, but I want to start from here. So facts categories. Yeah, great. So what's the class? Facts categories. Yeah, I go here, and then actually, and they are in like facts. I need to store them facts, and then soup dot find all, and then what's, I think, what's the HTML element? I have to see. It is in a section. Have you seen? It's in a section, so there will be plenty of them. Or is it just one? I think it's just one. But inside there are many facts wrapper. Okay. So even if it's just one, I don't have to use, I think I have to close this one. I can just use one, then find a section, and the class name is, I forgot, tell me guys. Facts category? Facts category or something like that. Yeah, facts categories. Facts categories. Oh yeah, it worked. Let's facts. Oh yes, great. So if you see, we have this, but inside this facts category, there are lots of facts. So what are the facts? Let us see this fact from community, and then again campus, and then again academics, and then again, yeah, that means community, campus, academics, and it continues. So we have to also look through. Then we have to use a loop. But first, from this, yeah, this, they have facts wrapper. This one came, and I think it closes. Yeah, it closes here and starts again another facts wrapper. So let's target all the facts wrapper from here. So facts wrapper, and then facts find all, and then facts, no, it was inside a div, right? Yes, it is a div, and then again facts wrapper. Yeah, let's try. Oh yeah, it runs. So now let's see what we have here instead. Facts wrapper. So we have, you seen now we found it in a form of what? What do you see here? In a form of what?
A list.
A list. So if you see a list, what can come to mind? Yeah, to reach to check. Yes, if you have a list, fact, for me, what it can just for each of the element, I can say in facts wrapper. No, what it comes to mind is loop. So let's see, print element. Yeah, now we managed to print each of the, I think even I didn't actually, I am just printing the wrapper now. Is that? Let me say, I can add a break by doing this. Okay, so the breaks, as you can see, so still I didn't, I am just now managed to.
Why don't you have a class in the fact wrapper?
Where?
After the div.
Here? Oh,
yes.
Actually, yes, I forgot that one. But why it did work, by the way? It did work actually without that. But we should put it like this. Yeah. Yeah, it should be like this. That's true. So that means we are getting each of the wrappers, fact wrappers. So each of the wrapper. Great. Now another loop. For element in wrapper. Print the element. Now we are getting each individual, guys. Let's try to get dot text. Oh, it failed. First sound, guys. Can you mute? Yeah, everybody mute your computer. Sorry. Okay. Let me show you again, guys. Now, as you can see, we managed to print out every element, but some are actually like this, and some are like this. That means a list. This list has lots of things by itself. For instance, if you see, yeah. So we should be careful whenever we use just this text or get text, because some of them, as you can see, object has no attribute get text. Yeah, so what I should use actually, let me think first. If okay, I have some code which I wrote. I'm a bit lost. Oh yes, web scraping. Where is it? No, it's somehow similar, but I got the section, but the way I did is somehow different. But it should be just the section. Let's see the print facts wrapper. Yeah, this is good enough, right? So for just wrapper in facts wrapper print wrapper em. So now we have this wrapper in a div. Yeah, we have different wrappers inside here. Now maybe we can I can show you the first 2 or 3. Why? Oh, I thought it's oh yeah, it's not anymore. Yeah, it's not anymore Yeah, so after this, actually, we have to go through this wrapper because the wrapper has elements, 4 elements in wrapper. Print. Yeah, now we managed to print each of the elements. Okay. So now at least the time I would like to have I see. So here, as you can see, what I did is actually I targeted like H5 separately and the UL separately. Yeah, great. This is really good. Yeah, so that's what I forgot. So now this is not the, as you can see, we have here H5. So we have to just target that one, a title, and we can just say element dot find H5. Yeah, so we can put it there and text. And another is list, the UL. This is the UL. Okay, so element dot find UL. I have to check this code to be honest. Yeah, that's good. So now just to check title, int object has no attribute. X, maybe I think it's get text, but still not Y. Find. For element in a wrapper. Yeah, but actually I can just show you from this code maybe because we're running out of time. So it's the same method. I use this at the top. I import the beautiful soup or import and then also request the request. I think in this case I use the this URL open, but it's the same as request. It doesn't matter. So up to this, we just got the beautiful soup. And then you know what to do. And then we get the title if we want just to, and then actually using this, if we print out, I can just print this out. Why? Name soup is not defined. Yeah, you have to run. Sometimes if you just open, you have to run something, Control Shift and run it all over again. Now it's working as you can see. So we have here, so I declared an empty data to store, and then I have this and this to, yes, now if you want to see print wrappers, what's the reason why this is red? Yeah, as you can see, now I have just the wrappers in a list. Okay, good. But inside the wrapper, we don't stop. We have to iterate. So we have here, let's see what we have in there, each element. Now, actually, what this is, we don't need this one because we saw it already, so it will confuse. Yeah, now we see is individual. And yeah, actually here is also, as you can see, just in the same as what we had in a wrapper. Okay, what did I do after this? Let me just turn on and show you. this stage, if I turn this on, category, because at H5 we have this community, and if you go again at the bottom, campus, and then again academics. So I'm targeting those and I'm store them as category. Yeah, and there's this list UL. The list is actually, I will show you the list. For instance, if you have UL list, we have there this item in this, inside this list we have this okay, we have this list and this list. So we have many lists actually. So then we have to go through, we have to iterate through those. I will just turn this on and show you. So we have a list and I created an empty dictionary, and then I am adding the title I'm getting from here to the dictionary, and then there's the list. I have to iterate again. If you print here what you have, actually print the item, you will see the list which are coming. Yeah, so those are lists actually. And then printing out is not just fun. So first, if item.find, usually whenever we find something, if it doesn't exist, it's -1. That means different from -1. That means if it exists. And if the span is also exist, then find them and get the text. So if you see here, print text and value, what?
You're just missing a T from the text.
Yeah. And then as you can see, I am just extracting them out. Yes. Then finally, it's not just extracting them out. We have to just populate to we want to give it this the name will be this, the text, actually this study abroad will be a key, and this will be a value. So I have to I'm creating a dictionary. So then after that I have to append the data. The data means it's an array. So or a list, I have to append it. Yes, it's appended there. So if you then print, pprint. So let's print the data here and see. Now I managed to create some kind of a JSON file. Okay, great. Then the next step is actually changing. This is a dictionary still. As you can see, it's a dictionary. So we have to change this to a JSON and call it data with dumps. And also if we want to save it, we can use the dump and let's see, test2. And then now we should have test2 as in some new JSON file. So the process is actually we extract this file. So I think it was a bit tiring and hard to follow. Even I was getting lost because sometimes this web scraping, it takes some time to deal with the code and to read, understand the HTML, the class, the ID, so to extract. But anyway, the process looks this. Sometimes whenever you need a data from a website, you can use web scraping. And most people, even experienced developer, may not know. So it's additional skill which I'm providing. Don't be overwhelmed if you don't understand now. You will get time and sit and study about it. But definitely soon, like in GitHub, like in the 30 days of challenge, I will create like 3 days of web scraping material or something. I think that's the best way. I can make things so clean and neat. Like for instance, I have this 10 days of, if you see 10 days of, like 10 days of Git and GitHub, like that. I think I have to also create some 10 days of web scraping or something. That's an important skill. Guys, we didn't manage to finish what we planned to do, and I think it's better to talk about it next week. So this is nothing, but next week we will talk about pandas and NumPy, and it will be also the end of the training. So far, we have just covered what we have promised on the outline on the website. Great. Do you have any question before we finish? And I will stop the recording, and then you can ask anything you have in mind.